Hey Park families, it's Miss Ayala, 8th grade math. If you are watching this, it's back to school night on Thursday. And we are all pre-recording our messages. So the way this works again is from 6 to 6:30, you guys watch your child's teachers. And then from 6:30 to 7:30 on Teams, we will be available for question and answers. So you don't have to stay the whole time. You just come in and ask questions. I also speak Spanish. Los que hablan español, hablo español. So if you guys have questions, you just come in and ask, and then you guys can go. If you cannot think of any questions, which typically happens, it's okay. If you can't think of anything, I'm available all year long via email is faster. You can give me a phone call and we can talk about whatever questions you have. So I do have a presentation. I'm going to make this as short as possible because I know you have a lot of teachers to look at. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to talk about the syllabus that I actually went over with the kids the first day of school. Unfortunately, I can't show you my whole back to school presentation, so I had to shorten it. So there's just really some really quick info. And I'm also going to email this PDF because this is on a PDF file. I'm going to email this when I mass email you guys on Aries, so you will have it in front of you. I'm going to email that as soon as I'm done recording here. So you have it the day before. I'm recording on a Tuesday, sorry. So you will have this way before you get to me. So here we go. This is Math 8, which is used to be considered pre-algebra, but we call it math for 8th graders. So this is the textbook that the students will be using. Every single one of them has received a textbook. If they lose it, it's a $14 to replace. I've had a couple kids already who have had it in their backpack and their water bottle has maybe exploded on them. Be very careful with that. They can put it out to dry, no worries. But again, they need to bring this to class every single time. So if you could just remind them of that, please, that would be awesome. I always go over calculators because I always say calculators are a tool, not a crutch. So it's okay to use calculators. It just makes the math go faster. But there are some facts that they will need without the calculator. So for this guy, no need to worry about the graphing calculator. That was more for my Algebra 1 class. But if you feel like you want to get them something for Christmas, this would be a good one because I always encourage students to take a lot of math in high school, especially if they're going to a 4-year college. So if you can afford that, do it. If not, don't worry about it. The one that I really think they should get is the scientific calculator. I found it on Amazon. I found it at Target. Everything has back to school sales. Make sure it's solar so you won't have to keep buying batteries to change those batteries out to get it working. So it'll just work with the light. But if you can't do that, I always say a basic dollar store calculator is totally fine. I have calculators here for them, but most of the kids will accidentally put them in their backpack and take them. And then there's no calculator for the next student. So if they can, please, I'd appreciate them bringing their own calculator. Here's the syllabus. I'm not going to go over a whole bunch on it. Again, it will be emailed so you have the information in front of you. Just really quick, the materials that are here on the side is what I really want them to have. Now here on the bottom, it says optional school planner. They actually got free planners from the school, and I am super, super, super crazy about using them. I love it. It's getting them ready to write homework down, get them ready for high school so they have too much on their mind. We don't want them, having to think about a million and one things. That planner is super important. They know they're supposed to come in, open it, write their homework. I have to see it to make sure that they were doing that. Not every teacher is going to ask them to open it. So this is something where I'm trying to train them how to be independent and get ready for high school. So that planner, super important in my class. I may even go and start giving them points for having the planner, and they know that. So this one, again, it says optional, but it was one that was actually given to them. So we are following those classroom expectations the Parkway. Again, I will let you look at this at your own leisure. The one big portion that I do want to go over is this pie chart. So I've decided to create a visual for parents because sometimes when you hear numbers and percents, you're like, it doesn't make sense. So I put it as a visual. So the chapter tests, I've decided to do classwork, homework, quizzes as 30%. So it's a nice chunk, but it's small still. So if they do the homework and their classwork and do well on quizzes and practice, the quizzes are more for practice to get ready for the chapter test. That's why I put it here. So if they're practicing here in the 30%, they will do better in the chapter tests. So if they're not doing the homework, they're not going to do well. They're not practicing. So I always say we're going to give them the smallest amount, but I don't want them to feel like it doesn't count, because it does. Because if they do it, it will reflect that on their chapter test. So again, chapter tests are huge. So you may see on Aries a huge jump. Maybe some students went from an A. You could possibly see their grade go down to a C if they didn't do well on the chapter test. So I'm trying to, again, train them. You gotta start doing the homework. I understand you're back in the classroom and it's a little more difficult, but we need to get back into the habit of doing this. So here is that 70-30. That means the computer will weigh it for them. So if I put in a homework assignment, it'll automatically weigh. So that's that portion. Here's the grading scale, just what's considered an A, B, C, D, or an F. And then if you want to get a hold of me, here's my email. I always tell parents, be sure to look for Veronica Ayala, because there's a lot of mistakes going on campus with confusing me with Vanessa Ayala. Vanessa Ayala is the counselor on campus. I'm Veronica Ayala. I'm the Math 8 teacher. Most parents will email Vanessa and then she'll end up forwarding me her email. So just look for Veronica. And then here's the phone number that I can be reached at. This portion, it would just be great if you guys can go over it with your students, because it has to do with cell phones, which is starting to become an issue. If you can talk to them about that, please. The late work policy, I do not take late work, but I do work something out with students. So I'm not going to just say, no, I'm not going to take it. And I've given them homework passes, which is like a way out of not turning in an assignment. So we might want to talk to them about that. If they were ever absent, they are to see me at appropriate times. I've had a couple students stop me in the middle of a lesson. That's not an appropriate time. So whenever they're absent, maybe when I'm done, or they can come in after school would be better, so I can take my time and focus. But if they are absent, they are to see me at the correct times. And then the referral process, I have this posted in my room. I understand we're all readjusting back to online from the online learning, but my rules are still the same. And again, I'm being a little more forgiving and lenient, but I'm trying to train these guys. We've got to remember how to behave in a classroom, how to behave on campus. So this is my referral process. Again, please have those conversations with them. And then if they ever need help after school, I'm available Tuesdays and Thursdays after school until 4. So that's it. If you guys have any questions on this, this will be emailed. If you have any questions, just let me know. Otherwise, have a great day, and I will see you guys soon.